We knew that it was coming eventually, and the Chicago Bulls have now ruled Lonzo Ball out for his first game of scheduled rest. We're going to talk about it all and more, but you already know what we got to do first. We got to play that intro.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host here, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into it, man. So Lonzo Ball is officially ruled out for tomorrow's game against the Milwaukee Bucks, and this was somewhat expected, right? We already knew that Lonzo was not going to be playing back-to-backs. The Chicago Bulls play Friday and Saturday, and kind of makes sense to give him a little bit of rest while he's able to play the home game on Saturday against the OKC Thunder. So this isn't really too surprising, or it shouldn't be for most people who've been paying attention to it. He's going to get his scheduled rest. It comes down the pipeline. It is what it is. But at least they've eliminated that question, so we're not even going into the day of asking if Lonzo's going to play or not. We now know adamantly, clearly, Lonzo Ball is not going to be playing tomorrow. And, you know, it is what it is, right? The Bulls have been even more protective over Lonzo's minutes in the one regular season game than the preseason games he's played. They stopped him right at 14 minutes exactly. He said he was going to be on a 14 to 16 minute restriction. And with the number of games that the team's going to be playing each and every week, you probably expect for that to go forward for at least a little while. But you know, it's not surprising. It's not a setback or anything like that. Let's not worry about it. This is just part of the scheduled way that the Bulls plan on using Lonzo Ball and making sure that he could stay healthy for the full season. It just is what it is when it comes down to that. Nothing too big, right? This should silence all the start Zoe casuals. No, it's not, because listen, I talked to a Zoe casual and literally I was like, so you would start somebody who has a minutes restriction and isn't gonna play in every game? He was like, yeah, because those 14 minutes with Lonzo Ball are so important to the way that you start the game out. And I'm like, I mean, I get it that he can give us great 14 minutes and make no mistake about it, but like, I don't know. Like, Lonzo Ball stands are just a very interesting set of people. It is what it is when it comes down to it. That's not overly surprising. Lonzo Ball stands are just Ball family stands in general. Like, I still run into some Ball family fans that still are like, Jello Ball is great and he could make any bench, he can make any team in the league. It's like, now you saw him play, right? Like, you saw it happen in front of your eyes, right? Like, this isn't like, what are we talking about? Who announced it? I haven't seen it anywhere. So this came out from Will Gottlieb, and this is also on the Bulls injury report. So there you go there, Samir. He needs to rest. No back-to-back right now. His health means more. Yeah, and he's not going to play. He may not play back-to-backs the entire of the season. Now, there, of course, as his body goes through things and the medical staff feel confident, things like that, maybe that changes. But let's just not have the expectation of Lonzo Ball playing back-to-backs maybe for this entire season, right? And if that changes, great. If he's able to do it, then he's able to do it. That's an amazing thing. But ultimately, it's not a big deal. This is not a big deal, right? This is something that we knew was going to happen. Lonzo said it at Media Day, out the man's own mouth. Back-to-backs are out of question. And when you look at it, wouldn't you rather Lonzo Ball sit Friday to be there for the Bulls home opener? Wouldn't you rather that? Like, that how electric that crowd's going to be to see Lonzo Ball checking in at the United Center for his first regular season game. We know he did it in the preseason, but his first regular season game, listen, that's going to be monumental, man. So, again, I know some people are going to be upset by it or triggered by it or whatever else. And really, if you expected Lonzo Ball to play in both these games, Friday and Saturday, you just set yourself up for failure, right? You set yourself up for failure. And one thing the Bulls are not trying to do is set Lonzo up for failure. They want to make sure he's going to be fully healthy and ready to go at the start for as much as they want to make sure that as much as he can play, he's going to be able to play. That's it, right? That's just what it comes down to. And they're going to be very protective over Lonzo Ball over the course of the season. And it's rightfully so. I want to be clear. That's the right move. The right move. Io needs to start. Giddey didn't look too good. Plus, he's slow as fuck in the defensive liability. But here's the thing, and I've said this before, and I get it. We've had this discussion with Big Kev. Don't get me wrong. I understand the concept of starting Ayo Dosunmu. We know him and Kobe are good out there together. But here's the thing. Who do you trust more being able to get in rhythm coming off that bench? Do you trust Josh Giddey more or do you trust Ayo Dosunmu more? I trust Ayo more right now to be able to come off the bench and do what the Bulls need. And there's something special in that, right? Because Giddey's Giddey. He's going to pass the ball well. He's going to rebound well. He's going to have some okay scoring. But Lonzo's your X factor. If you realize that the defensive tide of the game starting to change, you could bring in Lonzo. He can change that. He can do that for you. If you need some three-point shooting, he can come in. He can do that for you, right? If you need him to lock down the team's best perimeter defender, he can do that for you. So I think overall, like I understand. I'm not saying that I don't understand why you want to start Lonzo Ball, but I think at this point, if you go to who you had to trust, because you still need some pressure coming off that bench. Ayo Dosunmu was your guy for that. THT ain't it, so we're definitely ain't going to go to THT. Lonzo's there, but he's not there every single game. Ayo Dosunmu is the one guy that you know can be there every single night, and he's going to be able to do whatever the hell you need him to do. So that's part of the thinking there. Right? But like I said, I'm not saying you're crazy for thinking Ayo should start. There's a lot of merit to that, right? But I just think that if that's maybe how they're looking at it, like even though I don't think they're considering benching Giddey yet, but we'll see what comes with that. I know this is off topic, but why the fuck does Zach go into the paint just to drop the ball? I don't know. He's foul baiting or actually has a bad handle on the ball. Listen. I think it's a mixture of both him trying to get the foul, but also that's just been the Zach LaVine thing. It's been the Zach LaVine thing. He always kind of does that, man. Zach is turnover prone at the wrong times. Just been his career. Forrest Phillips, we got Julian Phillips' cousin in the building, man. Shout out to you and your cousin. I hope he has a much better second game. Yeah, because I still got big hopes for Julian. Still got big hopes for Julian. 670 the score compared Giddey to Ben Simmons, Haize voice. That's crazy. Bro, has anybody ever said you look like I don't look like John. Listen, every black person with freckles and a red beard don't look alike. Like, don't get me wrong. My beard is way better than his, though. But no, I don't look like John the Don. Like, come on, man, bro. You need to worry about your line. If we throwing jokes, you want to start? And you've been here since the beginning. You want that smoke? Do you want that smoke, my boy? I'm just messing with Ant. That's fam. Ant is fam, man. He can do no wrong in my book. Sup, Haize? I'm not upset with it as much of a problem I had with Joel not playing back-to-back. For the example, I'm okay with both sitting out most of back-to-back sets. Both players play a vital role for both squads. I mean, yeah, but I mean, let's be clear. Joel Embiid is a much higher tier than what Lonzo is. Like, it's just the reality of it, right? We knew he wouldn't play back-to-back. Yeah, that's what I said. Nobody should be surprised by this. Joining late, but this is good. Zoe is young enough that this season is important to him having a chance to play a long career. Facts. Great perspective on that, Terry. Great perspective on that. Too many lazy passes in turn. Man, listen, it's crazy. Appreciate it, sir. Hope so too, as well as the team. Yeah, I mean, listen, the team's gonna be the team, right? And like I said before, I said it. I think it was over on Locked On Bulls. My expectations coming into the season with this team isn't about wins and losses. It's just not. Like, I'm not to say that I won't be happy if we win a lot of games, and it won't piss me off if we lose a lot of games. But that's not really like my expectation for this team coming into this season personally. But you know what? I mean, that could very well change. But that's just how I feel right now. I'm not too worried about it. Do you think Zach is all in now because DeMar is gone? No, Zach is all in because it matters for his career. He was all in when DeMar was here, right? That most of that stuff around Zach is narrative, right? I'm not saying that he wasn't upset with the state of the team. I'm not saying he wasn't upset that we weren't winning more, but that's all it was built around. It wasn't like, hey, I hate everybody on this team. Hello, Haize, respect. Why do you think this is the plan for the next game? Because he was already going to sit back-to-backs, and they want him there at home, right? You want him to play at home. Wait, Delon? No, it's just precautionary. That somebody said it down. Just precaution. Like, he's not going to play back-to-backs. We play Friday and Saturday. So you might as well go look at every game on the calendar. When we play back-to-back days, Lonzo's sitting one of those days. It's just going to happen. Can't believe how well he played after missing 2.5 years of the best basketball on the planet. I mean, yeah, it really sucks. Should the Bucks fans be worried about losing Giannis and what that deal looked like? Losing Giannis? Did Giannis go down? Hold on. Did I miss something? Is he out? I don't see anything. Damn, bro, you got me in the mirror looking at my. I'm just fucking with you, bro. Your line is fine, man. I saw your take. I appreciate that because I'm in the same boat after what I saw last season and now. Yeah, I mean, that's where we are with this team, man. That's really where we are. Of course, Joel is much higher tier, but you can't tell yesterday his presence out there alone, being healthy again, was a huge morale. Oh yeah, like that. You can't take away from that. Can't take away from that. Maybe he means contract. Oh, well, he re-upped his contract. Lifting him in a trade. Okay, let me go back and read this again. Hold on. Where was it? Should Bucks fans be worried about losing Giannis and what that deal would look? Reading is fundamental. I fuck up too. Um, my mind went right to injury because we're talking about like Lonzo Ball. My bad, bro. I mean, they could. Like, I think Giannis re-upping with that team though, like was showed his commitment to the team because the team went out and made a move to bring in Dame Lillard, right? Now, could he ask out? Yeah, that's always a threat. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's this. If Giannis Antetokounmpo ask out for your team, you're going into a rebuild. That just is what it is. Like, yeah, you could be worried about it, but it ain't gonna change shit. If Giannis asks out of that deal, they're going into a rebuild. That just is what it is. Haize, I think Julian Phillips deserved more minutes than last. Oh, I completely agree with you. Like, and that's one of the things I said after yesterday's game is that I get going deep into your bench, but what we may find out, and it's one game, it cannot be a concern. But one thing that is a little bit of a concern is that, like, with spreading out your minutes to 10 players, is somebody going to not have enough minutes to really get in a consistent rhythm, right? Or will they eventually find that rhythm over time with the time that they have, right? So that's something there. No, Giannis threatened to want to trade if the Bucks aren't competitive. Well, that's not really what he said. He basically he did basically put pressure on the franchise to say that he wants to be competing, right? And so, I mean, I don't when you re-up and the team gives you faith, I think it's going to be even if that team starts failing, I think he'll say, "All right, we got to change some things. Give it a chance, right? We'll see." We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I mean, but it's always a risk. It's always a risk. By the way, the comments coming back up on the screen because when we last night for the post game show, they were saying the comments weren't coming up on the screen. Hopefully, they're coming up now. What do you think? Who do you think gets Zoe minutes? Nobody. I think you just spread them out for them players that's there, in my opinion. Um, my opinion. So I don't think it's like, oh, well, Zoe's not playing. Let's give those 14 minutes to one guy. No, I think you're just going to spread it out. Hopefully, Modest plays a little bit more, but I want to see him playing with Lonzo personally. But you never know what happened with that. But all right, guys, I just wanted to come give that quick update. There's been no real other updates or anything to come out of practice for the Chicago Bulls. So it is what it is. We're gearing up. Play tomorrow against the Milwaukee Bucks. We come home on Saturday. And yeah, we'll see what we got, man. I'm excited. Hopefully everybody else is excited as well. And we'll see what this team has in store for us. And let's hope that we get a dub, man. If we start off the season 0-3, I'm gonna be pissed. I am gonna be pissed. Um, yeah, gonna be pretty upset. Pretty goddamn upset. I'm not gonna lie to you. But love you guys, man. Thank you guys for tuning in to this random midday episode. Make sure you guys are following the show at Shy Bears. That's not this podcast. At Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. BullCentralPod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, but that's thanks to you guys. And like I like to end everything on. Go Bulls. Love you guys. See Red.